Hello everybody and welcome back to another Figurehead Reviews video, and today we are taking a look at the Marvel Legends Archangel, which, if I'm not mistaken, was a fan channel exclusive, which means you basically couldn't find it at Target or Walmart, but instead places like Entertainment Earth, Big Bad Toy Store, and I think even GameStop had it. But here we have Archangel on display with all of his additional heads and the extra Build-A-Figure piece for Apocalypse. Gives some very cool artwork on the side, and it's the same on both sides. Nothing on the top of that window sliver there. On the back side, we get a very cool product shot here of Archangel. And then we do have the read-up at the top. Forever racked with internal conflict and dark urges, Archangel nonetheless strives to be a hero, saving the world from grim forces of evil with the aid of his impressive metallic wings. Very cool looking. And down at the bottom, we do have the UPC code, but like I said, this is a fan channel exclusive, so you should just be able to search for Archangel. But enough about that. Let's get this open and take a look at Archangel. And here is Archangel outside of his packaging, and very awesome figure. I didn't get the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive version of Archangel where he is in the X-Force outfit, so this was something that I was really excited to get because, no X-Men collection is complete without Archangel, of course. And, man, it is really cool. There are a few things I wish they would have done differently with the wings, and maybe some accessories that would have been kind of cool. Something like the feathers or something sort of effect where when he shoots out the metal feathers, that would have been kind of cool. I'm not sure how they would have pulled that off, though. But for the most part, it is a very, very good-looking figure. He does come with this additional Build-A-Figure piece for the Apocalypse Build-A-Figure, so we're going to look at that here in a moment. But first, I want to take a look at all the additional head sculpts he comes with, and then we're going to get a better look at the wings and Archangel. And getting a good look at all four head sculpts that we get with Archangel, I gotta say, I think it is very cool that Hasbro gave us so many options for how we want to display this figure. So, of course, we get the classic look when he is a good guy on the X-Men team. We get the unmasked good guy version, the unmasked evil version, and then we get the Mask of Death when he is one of the four horsemen of Apocalypse. And I think it is very cool. They're all really well done. There are some reuses of some previous head sculpts that we've gotten in the past, but they are used to great effect here. And I just love the coloring that we get with it. The shade of blue looks great. We get some subtle hair shading that we get with the unmasked version, so I like that. And then the Mask of Death looks very cool. I like the gold that they use, and still very cool looking. The only real defect I had on mine is on my regular masked version. I say masked, hooded version, we'll say. He does have a little bit of a part of one of his eyebrows missing, which isn't a huge deal, so I think I can overlook that without too much issue. But again, very cool that Hasbro gave us so many ways to display this figure. Looking at the rest of the body for this figure, we can see that it is a Bucky cap mold, and it's used to decent enough effect here. There are some little oddities, so it looks like the red is a slightly different shade on the arms than it is from the chest, but otherwise that's not bad. We get that weird gap there in the ab crunch where, it can slide back and forth. There's a little too much of a gap there, which is a little bit odd that I don't see that more often. I guess maybe it's more centered and I just don't pay attention to it. But we get the red throughout, and there's only a few spots here and there where it doesn't fill in where it should, but for the most part, it came out looking pretty decent. You can actually see where it overlaps on the legs there, the red stripes, how the paint is overlapping. It's thicker in one spot. And actually, real quick, since I got this head back on, you can see what I was talking about there. Just a little spot of his eyebrow missing, so no big deal there. And then just another close-up here. That head sculpt, yeah, looks very cool. And then we do get a little bit red down there on the toes. And since it is the Bucky cap mold, of course, we do have the port in the back, and that is how you're going to put his wings on. So real quick, before I put them on, just taking a look at them, the silver on these wings looks awesome. I love this. The reflectiveness is great. So we got a couple of hinges. So you got this first hinge here that allows you to hinge the primary wings up and down, and then attached to that is also a hinge for these little inner wings that you could have posed differently if you want. So if you want those like in the back, yeah. And then you do have a hinge right here on the wing as well, so that you can try to do some stuff like, kind of having like the wings folded in. and then, of course, folded back and things like that. And then you can see it just ports right in the back of Archangel here. So we'll pop that in, maybe. There we go. So it just ports right in, and there you go. The biggest downside to having these wings is if he's standing up, he is going to be very back heavy, and that is a little bit of an issue. But I think most of us are going to try to have a flight stand so that we can have him actually flying, I think is what we're going to do. And actually, can I do that where I have it folded in on him? Yeah, that's kind of cool. If you wanted to have like a pose where he's like shielding himself or something. He's a little bit more stable that way, actually, too. Yeah, so that works. That works. But very cool. Looking at the articulation without the wings, and I did fail to mention that you can actually pull the wings off individually and leave that back piece on. But we'll look at the articulation real quick. So you have a head that can go side to side with no issue. Bury his chin down quite a ways, but you get that really weird neck bulge. Looks up very far, which is good for those flight poses. I like that. He's got arms that can come up a pretty good amount, full rotation, very clicky rotation. He's got a bicep swivel, double jointed elbows. He does have rotation and a hinge at both of the hands, which I didn't really point out, but they are just fists on both hands and no alternative hands, so oh well. We do get an ab crunch back that far or forward that far, and boy, it just doesn't go back at all. Yeah, Yeah, that hardly goes back at all. He does have waist rotation, legs that can come apart about that far, kick forward that far, backwards not much at all, upper thigh cut, double jointed knees. He does have a boot cut, and then he has a hinge and ankle pivot. So taking a look at the piece that we get for Apocalypse, so this is a throwback to the Toy Biz days, at least it is in my opinion, when we had the extra action features on our figures. So we get this piece basically for Apocalypse that we can put on. So in this case, we'll put it on his right hand, so pop off the arm, pop out the port there, and then this gauntlet comes off, and then all you have to do is you can see you have a port right in there. So you're going to pop that on the arm now. And then once you get it in there, all you got to do is reattach the hose. And then from there, you got now the claw added to the hand, which is very cool looking. It actually rotates around, and then you do actually have the ability to open and close it on something if you wanted to have them holding up one of the X-Men or something like that. So very cool little feature that they threw in, and I think that is really neat that we had that addition to the figure. So very, very cool. And that about does it for this review, everyone. And I know I didn't do a comparison, but unfortunately I don't have the previous version of this figure, and I don't have an Angel figure or any Toy Biz figures to really compare it to. And since it is just another Bucky Cap mold, there's really not much point in getting them up next to another Bucky Cap mold. We know what that looks like. So any comparisons I would do wouldn't really do anything to help differentiate the figure from its predecessors. So, but with that being said, I think it is a very cool figure, and I love that Hasbro gave us so many options for displaying him. If you want to have him as one of the Horsemen, like we have here, we can do that. If we want to have him as part of the X-Men team on the good side, we can do that as well. So I think that is very cool, and overall, I was really happy to get this figure. I need my 90s X-Men fix, and yeah, this is a great addition. But anyway, as I said, that is it for the review. Make sure to hit that like button if you like this review. Subscribe for more content just like this. And aside from that, thanks for watching my video and have a great day.